joining us in studio right now for the next two segments. We want to offer congratulations to the new athletic director over at Arizona State University, Graham Rossini, who's joining us here on Burns Gambo. Is his mic on? I don't hear his mic.
Check. Here
there
we go.
There he
We're
is.
live.
Oh, we got him. How you doing?
We're live. Outstanding. Go Devils.
Benvenuti. Are you Italian?
See, yeah,
All right,
Paisan, yeah.
So we get another Italian, which makes me very happy.
Do you speak fluent Italian?
I do not.
Okay,
but
good.
We do need to follow up on
Italiano?
some. Yeah,
Okay,
a little bit.
okay.
Got engaged in Italy, so we share that in common. And can have.
You got engaged in Italy?
I did.
Where?
Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre? I love Cinque Terre.
Yep.
Manarola?
Rio Maggiore.
Okay, because the Cinque Terre is the five towns. Cinque Terre, five towns. Manarola is my favorite, but they're all beautiful.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's
special part of the world.
How about that? I got.
You just carved out a special place in Gambo's
That's it.
heart,
Greatest,
just like that.
We stick together.
You're the greatest athletic director in the history of
all time
ASU.
in the history of
Italian Arizonans. Here we go.
Yes, exactly. I got married in Lake Como.
Oh, beautiful.
So beautiful there. I love it there. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, I got a lot of family there. We go back and forth. Let's talk about this journey. For you to be the athletic director of ASU, spent all that time with the Diamondbacks. Tell me about your relationship with Derek Hall, what you learned from him, and what you learned from your time with the Diamondbacks that's going to help you in this job right now.
Yeah, Derek's always been like an older brother to me, and I met him through ASU, so that's kind of the beauty of the situation. As I was probably a junior or maybe even a senior at that point, Derek was at the Dodgers having great success in Major League Baseball and had a chance just to build a relationship with him. And there were a few moments after I graduated, he actually tried to get me over to the Dodgers. Couldn't bring myself to leave ASU. We had great momentum in our baseball program under Pat Murphy at that time, and really enjoyed my role in helping us get back to Omaha and have some success there. And so I'll never forget the day that Derek sent me a note that he said, "Hey, I'm coming your way." And I said, "Well, what does that mean? Are you coming to ASU? Are you coming to the Valley? What's this going to look like?" And so we got to a point after the 2007 College World Series, was ready to evolve in my career. Didn't want to coach, had some opportunities. Coach Murphy wanted me to get back in uniform. I knew it wasn't a fit for me. I knew I was better either, driving business or behind the scenes, et cetera. And so, fast forward, Derek's now the president of the D-backs. And it was kind of getting ready for relocation of spring training, getting ready to bid on the All-Star game. And he said, "Hey, I've got great people that run sales and marketing, communications. I need somebody that can help us do everything else and build this brand of D-backs baseball." And so jumped in the deep end with him in 2008, had unbelievable 13 years, and a big reason I'm here today.
I look at Derek Hall as my much older brother, too. In a way. Yes,
he's not much older.
My much older brother.
Do you, even though he's younger than you?
He probably is.
I don't know. There's no probably about it. I'm almost
laughing
positive
over there
he
in the
is.
corner.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he's younger than you are. Yes.
So 13 years there. What was your plan? Was your goal to, at that time, what were your goals? What did you want to do when you were working your way through the ladder there?
Yeah, I've always had aspirations to lead, and leading what was to be determined. And, Derek and I had some great conversations. This was pre-COVID. So we were talking about my path in the organization, what that could grow into. The reality is we had a very stable leadership team. We're having some success in all aspects of the organization. And he was always mindful of, look, I want to find the right way to grow your career and your trajectory here at the D-backs. But if it means you need to step away and go round out some skill sets and touch ticketing and marketing, touch corporate partnerships, touch some other aspects of sports business, I'm going to always support that. And that meant a lot to me. And he had the same experience with the Dodgers, taking a step away, then coming back in the lead. And so anyhow, during the COVID season, an opportunity presented itself to re-engage in college athletics. Ray was gracious in giving me an opportunity to kind of come back home, as he always called it. And here we are 4 years later. So I don't know that becoming the athletic director of ASU was necessarily the goal. Always wanted to lead, but always wanted to have something that was purposeful and that I could hopefully impact in return.
We've seen it with Kenny. We've seen it with Willie. How important is being a Sun Devil in terms of ramping up your level of personal investment in making this work? Not that others weren't invested,
right,
but what difference does it make that you are a Sun Devil and that's kind of in your blood?
Yeah, out the gate, I'm a Sun Devil, and I'm motivated to help the Sun Devils be elite in everything that we do. And I do think that's not the only way to do it. We've got great coaches that competed elsewhere,
sure,
and ASU is now a part of that backdrop. But I do think an understanding of our fan base and understanding of the special place that is Arizona State University, and when we've lived it, and we've all benefited from it, personally, professionally. I say this all the time. Everything good in my adult life happened the moment I came to ASU. My my professional opportunities, some of my best friendships. My wife played volleyball at ASU. Allison was on a tournament team there. We've got 2 kids that are growing up as Sun Devil fans. And so my decision to come to Tempe at 18 has put all these things in motion, and ASU's been the backdrop. And so I just think when there's an energy and an enthusiasm for whatever you represent and whatever line of business you're in, other people start to sense that and feel it. And I'm a Sun Devil true and true. I learned about ASU because of Sun Devil baseball, Sun Devil football, and here we are many years later where I get a chance to play a leading role in that.
Much has been made about you being the only one that was interviewed for this job. What was the waiting process for you like? Did you know you were going to get it all along from the minute Ray stepped down? What was there? How did the process work when you were, in essence, the only one that was really seriously considered for the gig?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know what the process was behind the scene. I just remember a conversation I had a few days after Ray stepped down. Dr. Crow asked me to come to his office. It was with Dr. Jim Rund as well. And I hadn't spent a lot of time with Dr. Crow. I mean, he was aware of who I was. I think he was familiar with my background. I was involved in ASU and the National Alumni Board and Council. And so I was around the university, but I wouldn't say that he and I had a deep relationship or connection. But they were very clear. They said, hey, we're looking at a new way to approach athletics, and we're going to be, very methodical on how do we set Sun Devil athletics up for the most amount of success using the full strength of ASU behind it. And we had great conversation. He said, I don't know what this process will be. You are under consideration. We're very well of your skill set. We think it could be a fit. It's something that we're interested in learning more. And so just stay close to us, stay close to this process, and we'll see where it lands. So again, it took 6-7 months, whatever it's been. I've tried to focus more on building trust and attention, not politicking to get the job, understanding that, hey, there's a lot at stake here. There's a lot that we're working on to get across the finish line, and really just tried to focus on readiness if this was, in essence, something that could happen.
Would you consider yourself an out-of-the-box hire for this job?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not a known commodity in AD circles. I'm the first person to admit that. But where I think I can make up for not having AD chair experience, so to speak, is that I've thought about ASU every day of my life since I was 11. I've said that a few times today, and I think the deep understanding of our university, what makes it great, how we can get other people attracted to everything that's happening here in Tempe, throughout the valley, with all that we do, is that's a really important consideration at this moment in time. It's less about what's happening in college athletics. It's more about what can we turn and grow ASU into. And I've been in the valley for 25 years, and so while I maybe wasn't an AD at Arizona State University, I've been in the market, building relationships, interacting with people that we still count on today for support. And I think the combination of a deep understanding of ASU, having an aligned vision with the leadership that's critically important to our success moving forward, and having an established relationship in the Valley are huge attributes that set us up for success.
The landscape of college athletics has changed a lot in the last few years. So I think getting somebody younger and more energetic is important, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Somebody can go pound the pavement, will work for it. The past guys were, even Michael Crow and Ray Anderson, didn't really want to accept that NIL was a part of it. They didn't want to go down that path very much, but it's here. It's here to stay. You're either going to play that game or you're not. I imagine you are. What can you do to help the programs, Willie Bloomquist in baseball, and not just the football program and the basketball program, but the other programs you have to compete, considering what NIL is today?
Yeah, we're embracing it. We understand the importance of NIL, and we're taking that on full steam. We've spent every day for 6 or 7 months now trying to find our way and build a strong foundation to NIL. You see the success that Coach Dillingham and Coach Hurley are having in recruiting. It's not by coincidence. They are skilled recruiters. They are elite coaches, and what we're showing is that in a level playing field, recruits want to be Sun Devils. And we're not only leading with NIL, we're selling education, we're selling quality of life, we're selling the ASU network. And as we're building our footing in NIL, we're starting to see that, hey, we're going to have success in these recruiting circles. And so, again, a daily driver. We've got the Sun Angel Collective. It's been an unbelievable partner that's locked arms with us. Encourage anybody listening, sunangel.org. If you don't make a lot, don't give a lot. But please plug in and be tuned in.
You could donate $25, right?
We'll take it.
$50.
$25 helps. The scale of ASU is such a competitive advantage for us. And again, there's hundreds of thousands of Sun Devils in the Valley, and we want to build a connection to them. We want to do our part, obsessing over their experience as a Sun Devil fan. In return, find a way to plug in, find a way to support, whether it's through NIL, whether it's buying tickets, whether it's becoming a donor. If you represent a business, take on a corporate partnership. But it's critically important as we move forward.
I want to ask you a follow-up on NIL before we take a break.
Sure.
Are you behind? And if so, how behind are you when it comes to you relative to Arizona,
Yeah.
other Big 12 schools. Would you define yourself as behind? And if so, how behind are you?
We are rapidly ascending. I don't know that behind, or it's hard to get information on the context. What I do know is we've got a passionate partner in the Sun Angel Collective. We've got a group of donors and supporters that are behind our movement in NIL and bringing donor-funded NIL to the table. But we're also lucky to be in this metropolitan area that we've got emerging economies, great partners like Mountain America Credit Union, Adidas, Sprouts, Santan Ford, and Tim Hovick, Desert Financial Credit Union, some major heavyweights in the Valley that are stepping up to support NIL. And that's a unique opportunity and advantage for us. We have a passionate supporting and following that's going to get behind NIL. We've also got great corporations that are in the Valley, and they want to find their way. And real quickly, what I want to mention on NIL that I think is so unique in our Valley is a lot of our athletes, 26 sports, elite athletes in everything we do, they commit to their sport from 4 years on. You know, they're committing to their path to earn a scholarship and play at a high level from the youngest part that they start playing the sport. They don't have time for a high school part-time job. They don't have time for an internship. They don't have time for a work study or study abroad. And so where NIL is uniquely valuable for us at ASU, if you're a company, if you represent a product or service, you get the benefit of a high-profile student athlete representing it and promoting it, but you're also investing in these young people. We are a talent development organization as a university. And so when a company can say, I want the benefit of you promoting my product or service, in return, you're building a professional network, you're getting resume experience, you're being prepared for life after sport. Mother Nature's undefeated. We've all experienced that, right? At some point, your playing days will end. We have a responsibility into investing into these young people so that they're ready on the backside of playing, and NIL is such an incredible tool to do that.
Michael Crow hired you, so I'm not going to ask you, about that because, obviously you're going to say a lot of nice things about Michael Crow. I'm going to ask you what you need from him.
Yep.
Because there's been a lot of discussion over the years that Michael wasn't fully invested in sports at ASU. Let's be honest. ASU has been a lot of mediocrity in the programs, a lot of mediocrity. Basketball, right. Football for years, and we'd all love to see ASU become a top 3 team in the Big 12 at all of these sports that you're going to be in.
Sure.
What do you need from Michael Crow to get this program there?
We have it. We have his support. We have I said it before, the full strength of ASU behind us. He's making an incredible investment into athletics, both financially and also making sure that we're aligned with the rest of the university. And when I say that, it's no secret over the last 20 plus years, what's happened at ASU, the quality of education, the quality of research output, that's happened on his watch. What maybe hasn't materialized the same way as sustainable success in athletics. Mm-hmm. And he gets that, and he's prepared to make the investment. The ASU leadership is totally behind us. We've had great interactions. He is a competitive person. He wants us to win at the highest level. He understands the importance of football and basketball in this landscape. And as you talk to our coaches, you'll get that sentiment from them as well. He's all in on our ability to have success in football, basketball, and understanding that we have 26 sports. They're all important. They all very much align with the charter of ASU and creating opportunities. That's still the purpose of college sports. The best thing for us to have 26 sports compete at a high level is to have football and basketball have really, really good success.
This investment that you're talking about him making, is this new? Is this something he's been doing all along? Or are you expecting him to take it to another level to help you?
Great question. I mean, I don't have maybe the history of the investment in the athletic department. A lot of times it's talked about a subsidy. I consider it an investment. And with that investment comes an expectation that we'll be responsible making decisions in the athletic department, being mindful of the coaches that we bring in, being mindful of the ways that we spend our money, investing in our coaches, investing in our student athletes. So whatever you refer to it, he's bringing dollars to the table that maybe didn't previously exist, but they're intended to set us up for success. Make sure that we're resourcing our students as students, and then the athletically related revenues will support what we need to do as we compete.
I want to go back to the investment in football and basketball because you kind of touched the nerve a little bit there. There has been this longstanding belief that the philosophy at ASU is more of a Stanford model, is more of an Olympic sport, all the sports kind of model.
Right.
Are you suggesting to me and to our listeners that maybe the philosophy of the ASU athletic department has changed to put more of an emphasis on the power sports, the revenue generating sports, because that I know that's going to be a red meat for a lot of ASU fans out there who I think are looking for that right now.
Yeah, well, let's keep in mind the university is the one who mostly financed the renovation of Sun Devil Stadium a decade ago, now Mountain America Stadium. I mean, that was donor funded in part, but it was very much supported by the university. That wasn't public dollars coming into a venue enhancement. That was a university investment into the asset that is our football stadium. And how do we use that for, obviously football, graduation, other events, et cetera. But Dr. Crow's been very clear. Men's basketball, women's basketball, football, baseball, softball are keys to our success. And so our best ideas, our best energy going into those sports to have success is the direction that he's provided to me.
The basketball arena could use a facelift in the worst kind of way. What is
What was the concert you saw there back in the 70s?
The first concert I ever saw
Yeah.
was Billy Joel in 1986 at the then University Activity Center. And I don't know if it's changed a whole lot since then. And that was back when I was a sophomore in high school. I got to imagine that's somewhere higher up on the priority list for you guys.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And again, I'm 6'5". I've sat in those seats. They're uncomfortable. I totally get that part of it. And so, I'm the first one to say there's a way for us to present our basketball product in a more modern fashion. We're looking initially at how do we celebrate the activity that's happened there. There's been great concerts. There's great moments that have happened in that arena. It's got great bones. There are some attributes that we can bring out of it, but we're very much mindful of the expectation of a fan in today's day and age and what they want to see from a venue. It needs to be comfortable. It needs to be easy to navigate. It needs to be entertaining. The sound system, the scoreboard, et cetera, are all areas that we're looking at. How do we make those improvements that are fan focused in their mind? We've seen it when that arena is packed and the basketball teams are playing well. You get 12, 13, 14,000 people in there. It's an electric environment.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're taking advantage of what it can be when the teams are playing well and build an experience that everybody's excited by as they come on campus. Obviously, that was a big part of our playbook at the D-backs of a very fan-minded approach, focusing on the touch points, what's it like to park, what's it like to enter the venue, what are the food and beverage offerings, what's the entertainment like. We're looking at all of that. We want to compete. We want to be a great product on the court, but we also want to understand the fan experience and that journey that our Sun Devil fans are coming through to experience.
I get the fan experience, but from a player perspective, you're recruiting kids. You're in a big-time basketball conference now. It is a powerhouse, the Big 12.
Yep.
To recruit facilities, second to none. Kids want to come in. They want to see the facilities. They want to see the weight room. They want to see the locker room.
Right.
They want to see where they're going to play. So how much of an emphasis is it going to be on renovating that place to get it up to par where kids are going to walk in and say, wow, I can picture myself playing here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're having daily conversations on how do we improve the experience and the physical space of Desert Financial Arena. And, we're lucky we've got a standalone practice facility that's as good as I've seen in college sports, the Weather Up Center. We've got great facilities throughout the athletics department, in addition to the spaces that they use where they're working out, where they're eating, where they're dealing with the academic side of it. We don't want to lean on selling only one specific area. We're selling the ASU experience. And so we understand Desert Financial can have some improvements. Desert Financial Arena can have those improvements, and we're focused on what those are. Specifically to be determined. We're talking a lot about the immediate needs as we get into the Big 12. How do we set up our coaches to have success in recruiting and performance? And the arena is very much top of mind.
Could probably take half a Kyle Dodd's salary going forward and use that towards
more
facility,
Doug filling
Doug?
in, right?
Yeah.
Doug, the sports information director for ASU, sits and nods his head on the side. Yes,
ASU legend, yes.
Absolutely.
Doug and Kyle Dodd's ability to go back and forth at each other, second to none. You know the community.
Yep.
You've been here for a long time.
Yep.
You worked for the Diamondbacks. How much of an advantage is that for you, going out, shaking hands, kissing babies, getting people to buy into what your vision is?
Yeah, it's our vision, and again, it's a new chapter for Sun Devil Athletics. We've got a lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm around us. I do think having 25 years of established relationships and connections in the community are going to be paramount as we get out the gate. It's been fun today to reconnect with old friends and new partners and just have a message of thank you to those who have supported us. We're going to be, getting in front of a lot of our donors, a lot of our season ticket holders who may have been on the sidelines as of late and find a way to get them back in the game. And so we value feedback. We value the connection. We want to do our part in obsessing over the people that obsess over us. And I think I do know having an established set of connections and relationships in the marketplace is a heck of a head start.
There has been a lot of angst about the ASU athletic department over the last few years, whether it was Herm, whether it was Ray, whether it was the infractions. How do you soothe that over? What do you do to, I don't know if it's building bridges, mending bridges, soothing that over? It's been a touch point for a lot of people. How do you fix that?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm a Sun Devil fan first and foremost, and so I understand, whether they're misfires or frustrations that have happened. We're focused on the path ahead, and that's going to come from a very, meticulous outreach to our community of support. How do we bring people who have been waiting for change to happen back into the conversation, understanding what's important important to them as they support the Sun Devils, but also being very mindful of there's 1 million people new to the Valley in the last 5-6 years. How do we find a way to plug them into what we're doing? How do we use the fact that we've got beach volleyball and lacrosse and all these incredible sports that connect with people that move from different parts of the country and help them understand the importance of supporting basketball and football and what it is to, come and attend ASU, et cetera. So we'll be very proud to represent ASU. We'll be out in the community. We'll be very present. I'm going to be very present. I encourage Sun Devil fans to come up, introduce yourself. I want to build that relationship. I want our entire athletic department to be much more connected to the community. We had some really exciting conversations with a few key partners earlier today on how do we align on giving back to the community? How do we build programs that support causes that are important to Phoenix and the Valley? And that'll be a big focus of ours.
Let's plug one more time quickly the Sun Angel Foundation.
Sunangel.org.
Sunangel.org. And anybody can
Sunangel.org.
get involved and anybody can do it. There's a lot of ASU alum in this town. I know a lot of them that are dentists and doctors and lawyers and the goal is to get everybody involved. So sunangel.org. They can start it today. Get involved.
They can join as a member. They can get connected if they've got a company that they want to have a student athlete promote, represent, et cetera. But yeah, sunangel.org. NIL really, really matters at this moment in time. And again, it's an investment into young people finding their way through collegiate athletics.
And you're okay going to West Virginia, right?
I am.
Okay.
I am. I've been there. I've been to Morgantown several times. I'm very excited to be there. Ren Baker, their AD, has become a good friend. I was texting with Ken a little while ago. He's specifically excited for that matchup, and I'm not walking into that one, guys.
Thank you for not taking that bait. I mean, seriously, you talk about low-hanging fruit. That is the lowest
Tucson, though. Hey, let's
ever.
be real. The road trips to Tucson, I've been able to avoid those for quite some time now.
Not anymore.
I got to find a way to get down to Tucson.
West Virginia.
No,
Last guy wasn't.
Not anymore. All right, you done? You got that out of your
Good.
system?
Yeah,
Good. I'm
Thanks,
glad.
Gambo.
Graham, congratulations again on the
Thanks,
new
guys.
job. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, spending a few minutes with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for all you do. Yeah, happy to be here.
Graham Rossini, the new athletic director at ASU, joining us in studio, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.